All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Forward Thinking Founders, where we talk to founders about their companies, their visions for the future, and how the two collide. Today, I'm very excited to be talking to Alex Govoreanu, who is the co-founder of Questo. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Really well. Excited to do this.
Yeah, excited to have you on and learn more about what you are working on. For people that haven't heard of your company, what are you working on? What are you up to?
We are working on Questo, and Questo is a platform for city exploration games. With us, you are able to explore cities by playing the role of a character with a mission, by playing a quest. And every quest of ours is being created by either a local storyteller or a tour operator or travel agency who is working with us on our guidelines into building these amazing quests.
So walk me through. Someone was to hear this for the first time on the podcast. Check out, your website. What's the user experience of someone kind of landing on your site to kind of getting involved, getting started with the quest, and then what happens during the quest? Kind of what can someone expect?
Um, sure. So Questo, it's a mobile app first. The website is a product of ours that is used probably more for research. But then, in order to actually experience the Questo experience, you have to use the mobile app. So how to do that? You download it, then you go to the city you want to explore, search for some quests there. As of today, we are available in more than 100 cities worldwide, and in each one we have at least one quest available. If you find a quest that you think it's interesting for you, you just to have first purchase it, and once you've purchased it, you have to go to the starting point. Now, at the starting point, you will receive more details about your mission. You already know some general terms about the theme of the quest. So, for instance, if you are now in Zurich, in Switzerland, we have there a quest about Einstein. And that's kind of all you know before going to the starting point. But once you arrive at the starting point, you will receive your first mission. And your first mission will involve meeting Einstein. And from that point onwards, as you go, you will have to solve all sorts of challenges in a fictional walk around the city with Einstein. And through it, you will do some sort of thought experiments that will help you in the end understand how Einstein came up with the general theory of relativity. It's just one example of a quest. We have many others. Some are science related, some are history related, some are just about romance. And actually, my favorite quest is in Paris. It's called The Last Lovers of Montmartre. It's a quest designed especially for couples who want to spend a really good time there. And there they have to explore Montmartre as a couple who once fell in love in that neighborhood. Is where they had their first date, and by the end of the quest you will understand if those two people are still together or not. And while you do that, you will learn all sorts of romantic stories about places in Montmartre as you visit them.
And tell me a little bit about why you decided to start this. What's the origin story for Questo?
It's more than 4 years ago, I think. In February, I was exploring Rome together with my now wife, and after 4 days of going on tours and visiting the checklist places in Rome, I felt just tired and frustrated, and the experience was bad overall. So I just asked the help of our booking host, whom I've asked if he can recommend me a place in Rome where I can see Italians, feel some authentic experiences, and so on. And he just recommended me a neighborhood. It was called Trastevere. Just cross the river from the area which is very popular and get lost on the streets. And I did that and I loved it because I was an explorer again, as I thought I would be. And when I came back home, I started discussing with my current co-founder that the part in which we explore cities when we are travelers is broken, because we are not explorers, we are followers. We all follow each other, those very same crowded places, and the experience is very impersonal and so on. And then we try to understand a bit how we can solve this. After analyzing a bit all things such as who's traveling, why they are traveling, and trying really to understand the behaviors here, we ended up with gamification and adding gamification into the process, and storytelling, because this is how you can build an immersive exploration that people will do over and over again.
As you've been working on this for, for the amount of time that you mentioned, a couple of years, a little more than that, what have you learned along the lines about creating these quests, creating experiences or company building? Well, let's just hear, some of the learnings that you've come across as you've been working on Questo.
I think that the most important thing for our growth so far was the fact that we are always listening to our customers. Um, Actually, the first prototype of Questo was a bit different in a way, but very different in a very important way at the same time. So our quests in the early days, they were very challenging to solve. And for some users, it might have seemed like they are giving some IQ tests around the city. And this is what we realized quite early, that that's not what we should do. People, they do not pay in order to feel stupid in the city because they cannot solve something. So your first and foremost thing has to be, first listen to them, listen why they do it, and try to accommodate that, and constantly discuss with them. So we, in the early days, we expected most of our users at the end of the quest, ask them what they loved, what they didn't love, and so on. And this is still something that we do, even if we don't go physically in the city with them. We constantly message them, ask them what we can improve, and so on.
And then as you work on this, in the day to day, kind of zooming out from that, if you were to look out, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years into the future for Questo, what do you think this could become? Or I guess, in other words, what's the big vision here and what you're actually growing in with the company?
Um, the vision for Questo is somehow similar to a book that I've read a few years back. You probably heard about Ready Player One, the
Yeah,
movie and
absolutely.
book. Well, perfect. It's a future kind of similar to that. We are not about building VR experiences, but we have at our hands cities, and cities are the largest playgrounds which are unused in this world. We have in cities a huge potential to create gamified experiences and to live some parallel lives at the same time. And this is what we do. So we always have this analogy that cities as we have them today are layer one, and Questo's job is to add different layers on top of every city in this world in order to create different experiences. One layer would be the one in which you explore the city in a haunted fashion, in which you will see a lot of ghosts and zombies or whatever. And we have a lot of quests which are haunted themed. The other layer might be romance, and there you will see only butterflies and hearts and love stories all around the world, and so on. This is what we imagine here.
I love it. I look forward to a world where that's a reality, and that's kind of almost ubiquitous, around the world. I guess it doesn't matter if it's all digital, right? It's already around the world. But my in order to make that happen, you'll need some help. It takes a village to make, a company work, a startup work. So my question for you is, how can the forward-thinking founders community help you? Are you hiring? Are you raising capital? Looking for users? How can we assist?
The one of the things that I think we need right now is to really boost our supply. This is what's most asked of us. As I said, we are available now in about in a bit more than 100 cities worldwide, and we work here with creators, independent or not. The independent creators, for one, they are creative writers, copywriters. We have even people who are writing scripts for Netflix that have joined our team, and they are designing their own quest. And they do this, one, because of passion, because these people are really into writing, they love what they do, and they want to share it with the world. But at the same time, they can also make money. We share our revenues with our creators. They get 20% out of every booking that's being made. So my call to the community would be to join Questo in building quests in their own cities. if they are good at writing. And even if they are not, we are now also working with scouters, as we call them. So if you think that your city has some really nice stories or places to share with, but you're not really good at writing, we will cover that. You just help us in the documentation phase and pinpointing some aspects that you can help us with.
And then if someone hears that and they want to learn more or they want to get involved, how can they do that? What's your website? Where can they find you? The App Store, or in social media, an email address? How can people get in touch?
The easiest way would be to go directly on our website, questoapp.com. And there we have a chat support feature. Just use that, reach us out. This is how most of our potential customers, clients, partners, and even users reach us out. The exact same chat is available also in the app. And if you are interested in sending just a direct email, we have an address that's explore@questoapp.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot for the invite.